Welcome to the product tutorials on how to add expense templates in Replicon. I'm now logged in into the Replicon instance. In this demo, I would show how to add new expense templates within the Replicon system. In order to add expense templates, go to Administration and then click on Expense Templates available under Expenses. On the expense template page, click on Add Expense Template button available at the top. Provide a name and a description if you would like to. Set the status to enabled or disabled depending upon your requirement. Now let's look forward to the expense options available here. The first option says enter expenses against projects. If you would like the expense sheets to be submitted along with the selection of projects, then check the option available here. If you would like the project selection to be mandatory, then check the box available under the second option that says project selection is required. The project selection should be made by filtering through client or program can be selected here. Click on the drop-down and choose clients or programs depending upon your requirement. If you would not like to filter the projects based on client and program, then set this option to do not filter. Moving on, override exchange rates. If your expense sheet has exchange rates available and you would like the employees to override it depending upon the current exchange rate, then you can have this option checked. If you would not like to give this permission to the employees, then let this option stay unchecked. Override rate for the rated expenses. By checking this option, you ensure that any rated expenses, for example mileage, gives the employee the availability of overwriting the rate that is associated with this rated expense. That is, any rate that you have provided for the rated expense can be changed by the employee who is submitting the expense sheet. Reopen expenses before approval. When an employee submits an expense sheet and there is an approval path set for it, the expense sheet goes for waiting for approval status. In that scenario, the expense sheet can be reopened by the employee for any changes that he would like to make. Reopen expenses after approval. If the expense sheet has been submitted and approved by the respective approver and the employee would like to make any changes in the expense sheet, then they can go ahead and reopen the expense sheet if this option is checked. Allow blank resubmission of comments. If the expense sheet has been reopened and the employee is resubmitting the expense sheet, he can resubmit it without entering any comments if this option is checked. View the billing summary data. If you would like the employees to finally see the summary of the billing data that's been entered in the expense sheet, you can check this option. And finally, notice acceptance is required. If there is a notice that you would like to put, then check this option here, and any notice that has been put will have to be accepted. Once you fill in all these details, click on the Add button and this expense template would be created and will be available in the user profile for selection. This is how you can add new expense templates in Replicon. Thank you for watching the video. Did you know that you can now get in touch with Replicon using the Replicon community? In order to access the Replicon community, go to the Replicon website and click on Customer Zone available at the top. Click on Community available here, and you would be taken to the Replicon community page. You can now sign in or register and post any questions, queries, ideas, or report any issues, and one of our product management team members or a Replicon representative will get in touch with you immediately.